Some stories in war aren't written in history books. They're buried in the people who survived them. Sniper Wulf was one of those stories. She was born in Iraqi Kurdistan, in a time when entire villages could disappear overnight, hunted, displaced, forgotten. What she describes isn't just fiction. While never directly confirmed, her story closely mirrors real events. Campaigns where Kurdish civilians were systematically erased, villages destroyed, families scattered. Under regimes like Saddam Hussein's and the government that came before it, the Kurdish people were caught in cycles of war, repression, and abandonment. And before that, the collapse of resistance. A rebellion led by Mustafa Barzani that ended when outside support vanished. Just like that, the people were left alone. No rescue, no intervention, no one coming back for them. For a child growing up in that world, war doesn't feel like chaos. It feels normal. Gunfire becomes background noise, sirens become lullabies, and survival becomes the only truth. Until one day, someone does come back. She would later call him Saladin, a name pulled from history, a leader remembered across the Middle East as a protector, a unifier, someone who stood against overwhelming powers. To a Kurdish Muslim child, that name wouldn't just mean hero. It would mean someone who defends your people when no one else will. And to her, that's exactly what he was. The one who found her, the one who pulled her out of that world, the one who gave her purpose. But purpose can take many forms, because the man she saw as a savior didn't take her away from war. He gave her a place in it, put a rifle in her hands, taught her how to survive it, how to become part of it. Not a victim anymore, but a soldier. And maybe that was the only kind of salvation he knew how to offer. So she adapted, not as a fighter in the chaos, but as something quieter, a watcher, a sniper, someone who could stand outside the battlefield and observe it from a distance, control it, end it, one shot at a time, because distance was the only way to survive it. But even that story begins to blur, because in the world she lived in, truth was never simple. While she believed she was saved by Big Boss, the timeline raises questions. During the 1980s, the real Big Boss was often operating far from where she was found, while another man, his phantom, carried his name across the battlefields of the Middle East. Venom Snake, a man who wasn't Big Boss, but became him. And maybe that's the man she met. Or maybe it really was Big Boss. In a world built on legend, even the truth can have two faces. But the confusion doesn't end there, because the man she would later follow, the one she chose to fight for, was Liquid Snake. The same face, the same legend behind him, but something had changed. She would later admit that by joining him, she had shamed herself and her people, not to help the world, but to take her revenge on it. And yet, he still carried the image, the echo of the same man she once called Saladin. So maybe that name was never about truth. Not Big Boss, not his phantom, not the man she chose to follow. Because later, while she was dying, when she looked at Solid Snake and asked him, "Are you Saladin?" She wasn't asking who he was. She was asking if that feeling still existed. The one she found as a child in the middle of war. The one she followed even as it began to change. Because when you've lost everything, you don't remember a face. You remember the moment someone came back and what they meant to you, even if they led you right back into the fire. Because in the end, Saladin wasn't a man. It was a belief. And by the time Sniper Wulf realized that that belief had already turned into something darker.